Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Cane. Today I'm sharing the 3 layouts that I created using the leftover embellishments from the Simple Stories page kits that I used on the 17th and the 16th. And I had a lot of embellishments left over. I had a few scraps left over, but not any 12 by 12 papers. So I dug into my stash of Christmas papers and pulled out papers that match, and I'm going to use those to create the additional 3 single page layouts. So here I'm showing you the embellishments that I plan on using. I'm going to do each layout individually throughout the video. So this is the first layout, and then I'll show the second, and then the third, and I'll show all 3 together at the end. But pretty much that's what's going to happen. So I have black cardstock here, and that's going to be the base pretty much for all 3 layouts. I ended up doing a black border that just seemed to match the best since my son is wearing a little black suit with green. And then this paper here is actually basic gray. I brought in quite a few sheets of basic gray just because they matched and they're distressed. And I kind of like the addition to the Simple Stories embellishments. Um, this paper here is a newer Simple Stories paper that came in my scrap room kit, and it was the perfect red because red is a very hard color to match outside of the collection. So, but since it's Simple Stories, the red matches. So I went ahead and used the red polka dot. This pink paper here is Pink Fresh, and that was from their Christmas collection a couple of years ago. I just like the plaid, and I did use that on a different layout earlier in the month, so I had that one laying on my table still because I've kept all the scraps just laying in a scrap container waiting to be used throughout the month, and then I will decide at the end of the month if I'm throwing them away or if they're going back into my Christmas stash. So the little photos here, I cut 2 of them down to a smaller size, and then one of them I kept a little bit larger. I believe it's like a 3x4, and that was my favorite one. The other 2, he looks almost exactly the same in them, except for his face is different in them. So that's why I went ahead and just kept both of them. And I'm going to pop up the center one, which is this one here. I'm going to place this little, what is it, like 3 different papers together. It was part of the very first layout I created. And I had this little scrap piece or 2 scrap pieces left. I decided to cut it in half since I only needed half of it on each side. And the other one actually went in the trash when I was done. But it's just a tiny piece. It's like, what, 2 by 3 inches, if that. Um, and I don't have any papers left from the page kit at the end of the video. So I went ahead and threw any of the scraps away, and I'm kind of happy with what I got completed because I did complete 2 double page layouts and then 3 additional 8.5 by 11 layouts, or 11 by 8.5 like this one. 2 of them are 11 by 8.5, and one of them is 8.5 by 11. So I'm really happy with that. I think I got my money's worth out of that because that was a kit that I had picked up at Tuesday morning. So of course it was already discounted, but then it was discounted even more because I got it just before Tuesday morning closed. I can't remember what I actually paid for it, but I'm pretty sure it was less than $5. So that's pretty good. If I was able to get 5 layouts out of it, including 2 double page layouts. So here I'm just adding little candy canes up here to the top. This little tab just says Jolly on it. And my main title for this page is just going to be Merry Boy, kind of going with the Christmas theme of Happy Boy. He's a very happy child. He was always laughing, always giggling, always making us laugh because he was so funny. So it definitely fits him. And then I added a couple of little leaves and flowers up there. I'm going to add this little snowman since he's sitting outside of the front of the house. It wasn't snowing, but again, we're in Colorado, so it could have been snowing, but it hardly ever snows on Christmas. Um, the little snowman, I'm going to pop up on Play Foam. Like I said, I think I already said that. And then I'm going to bring in some more of the little embellishments that you see to the right hand side. And basically, I just used a lot of smaller size embellishments. So I was able to get them all on this layout and just kind of make it fun. So I'm going to add the candy, like the candy cane. The candy is the little cup that has like hot chocolate. And I really like the way that it turns out. The little snowflake dies you see sitting there, I ended up not using. I wasn't sure if I would use them to begin with. I was going to try, but then I decided I really didn't need larger snowflakes after all. All the little embellishments just worked out, so that's what I went with. So here I'm just playing with these little hearts, trying to decide if they're going to go here at the end of Merry Boy or not. I end up moving them eventually. One of them is glued down, this one here, which is the same color as the background. And I think that's what was throwing it off, is it kind of blended in a little bit too much. So you'll see here in a minute, I'll keep playing with these. And the little holly, I keep moving it around. I'm like, I don't like it. I already have holly up there at the top, right next to the photo. And I'm like, but I need something in this empty space. I'm not going to add journaling. So I really didn't need room for journaling. I have other layouts that have the year. I don't need the year. I was like, what can I put there? So you'll see here in just a minute, I'm going to bring in that little hot chocolate cup that's at the top. And it has a red heart on it. I'm going to trade that out to the green heart to add the green color down at the bottom instead. And then I'll add the other lighter green heart up at the top. Oh, I already did. Up by the tab. Um, but that little like mint colored heart, it stayed there because it was already stuck to the paper. So I just put the cup over it. And that's pretty much going to be it for this layout. I did change out the holly over by the snowman. I wanted the darker one instead of the lighter one. And that was pretty much it. Here's a few close-ups of this layout, and then we'll get started on the second layout. But I really like the way this one turned out, and it's so cute. I love these pictures of my son. So here is a close-up of the entire layout. And then the second layout is going to be the one that has the main journaling for the entire little Christmas night, day. This was actually Christmas Eve. And usually we do our celebration on December 23rd because that's my mom's birthday. But this one was actually on Christmas Eve, according to the journaling that I wrote 20 years ago or so. I did a lot of journaling back in the day before I did the layout. And sometimes I try to incorporate it. Sometimes I'll just put it to the side and plan on retyping it out. But this one I actually was able to get on the layout. And I like it because it's on vellum. And I used to do vellum journaling a lot. Vellum is probably one of my favorites to do, or just clear labels and then I lay it down like a sticker. So here's the journaling. I'm going to hold it up just a little bit close. You can kind of sort of read it, maybe pause the video, read it if you want to. It just says that he enjoyed playing outside of my mom's house before everybody got there. And this was our family, Christmas celebration. And this little Christmas tree paper is from Coco Vanilla. And it matches perfectly. So I decided to go ahead and use that as my main background on this layout. And along with the scraps that I had left over from the Simple Stories layout that I did earlier in the month. I used, or no, actually I did it last month for the giant shaker of the snow globe. And these scraps were left over from that Simple Stories layout. So they match color-wise, so I went ahead and brought them in. I actually don't end up using the lime green colored one, just the darker green. I use a little piece of it and then I use the plaid. And here I'm showing some of the Cocoa Vanilla ephemera pieces. I ended up bringing in ornaments, this little banner that says Family Traditions. And then I'm looking at the chipboard to see if there's anything else I can bring off of that. I believe I bring a little stocking, but I end up not using that stocking. But I do use the Family Traditions and the little ornaments, or two of the little ornaments, I guess, in the end. So here, this is how I'm going to do this one. I decided to do it 11 by 8.5 also. And I put like, that's probably what, like 4 inches, I guess, of that tree paper right across the middle. And then the plaid one I'm going to place at the top and the bottom. And I was just making sure they were the same size. And then I inked up the edges of all 3 papers. And now I'm just going to use my T-square roller to make sure they're straight and lay them down in place. And I like the design of this. I don't think I've ever done a layout where it's like this. The black cardstock's the background, and then I left a little bit of space in between. So there's a black line in between the papers. And I really like the way that looks. Plus, it makes the papers just pop. And like I said, his outfit is like a greenish color. And then, but the photos look really cute with this in the end. And that is my little sister that's with him in the other photo. She loves him to death. So she was hugging him and he's happy to take a picture with her. And then I'm going to put Deck the Halls up here at the top. And I don't usually use Deck the Halls. Like, I think I have it in quite a few collections, but I don't think I've ever used it as a title. So I decided just to go ahead and use it as a title on this one. I'm going to put this large flower over here by Deck the Halls. And then I'm going to put a little ticket on it that's from Cocoa Vanilla. And that says Christmas Magic December, Admit 1. Which it should be Admit 3 because there's 3 kids in the photos. But we're going to go with it. And color-wise, it matches. The little tree, it blended in a little bit too much without the green background. So I just placed it on the green paper, fussy cut around it, and inked it up. And I'm going to pop it up on play foam and add it right here at the bottom of the photos. And I really like that after I added the green to it because it blended in way too easily. And then I added a little banner from Vicki Boutin that says Jingle All the Way. And then I'm add their little photo down. Add the other flower, the Deck the Halls. This here I decided to do ATG, and then you can see the ATG marks through the vellum. Some vellum you cannot see the ATG, but for some reason you could definitely see it on this one. So I just rubbed it off and then used double side tape instead. And you can still kind of sort of see it, but it's right in the black line at the top. And at the bottom, I'm actually going to put this little family tradition label. So you're not going to see it. And the family traditions was actually the darker pink color, like the stocking that you see to the right hand side. And I took the lumberjack distress oxide and made it darker. And that was just to blend it in a little bit more with the layout. It matches the darker red flower up at the top in the Jingle All the Way. It's still a little bit lighter than those two, but it definitely matches a little bit better than the pink. This layout actually didn't have a lot of pink in it. The pattern paper at the bottom and the top does not have pink. It has just red, green, and then the lighter, like mint green, and the darker green. So I decided it did not need to be pink after all. Even though I added that pink little flower, but it's okay. So this one's complete. I'll have the third layout here in just a moment. And here's a few close-ups. All right, let's get started with that third one. This one is the portrait 8.5 by 11. And I just have these two photos of my son. He was sitting in the bathroom with me, waiting for me to get ready. So I was doing my hair and he's just sitting on the bathtub playing with the shower curtain. But I thought he was so cute because he kept telling me, peekaboo, peekaboo. And he would, peek out from behind the shower curtain. And again, I have basic gray. Uh, this one here is Figgy Pudding, I believe is the name of this collection. Yeah, that's Figgy Pudding. And there's something about this paper, the very first paper I showed with all the colors on it. I really love it. And I actually get it on this layout. And I'm okay with using it. I used almost the entire sheet. I cut off just a little bit of it. And I used a couple of the other solid papers with it. This layout's going to be fairly simple. Mainly, I'm probably going to show you the papers longer than I actually do the layout. This paper here is by Crate Paper, but I end up not using this one. I didn't need to bring in the darker green color as much as I thought I was going to. I end up using one of the darker green Simple Stories papers that was left over from the original kit. So that's why I ended up not using that other darker green one. So here I'm going to border this layout again in black cardstock. And I'm going to use that pretty paper that I just think is, I don't know what it is about it. I really like it. It's really busy though. But I think it goes with the photos very well in the end. So it's okay. I'm going to add this other black cardstock strip right across. And then I'm going to add a red strip and a green strip across. And that was just to make a little border. Down at the bottom, I plan on doing strip journaling, just to add, like I said, he was playing in the bathroom. I fussy cut around the title piece, Jingle All the Way, to take off some of the white paper. There was a lot of white paper on it. I decided to go ahead and fussy cut it and take that off. I'm going to add the cute little penguin just because I think he's cute. And the jingle I'm going to pop up on play foam along with the penguin. But I wanted to attach it to the penguin first and then pop it up. So that was magic of YouTube, very fast there. I saved you watching me cut all the play foam. But I went ahead and did the little E here separately just so you can see, I did add play foam to all of it. And the little poinsettia is going to get play foam also. That's going to go up on the right hand side of the photo. And that just adds a little something up there. And then I'm going to add the little E on here, and pretty much that's it. That's all I did. The photo mats behind the photos were the scraps that I had left from the Simple Stories kit. And then the lighter green one was the basic gray paper. And then over here to the right, I'm showing you all of the little pieces that I have left. Mainly, I just have little hollies left. And I'm just going to put those in my Christmas stash because I can pretty much use those on any other layout. I really enjoyed doing these 3 layouts, and I like the way that they turned out. They were fairly simple, but you know what? I used up everything from the kit. I'm so excited for that. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!